Hi everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled AND, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. We heard from a man and woman who are both dating, and they had a fantastic coincidence miracle they wanted to share with us. They were both praying for wisdom about what to do. They had tried different dating services, and they were both praying, and they got inspired one day to use a Christian dating service. I'm sure a lot of dating services work well, Christian or not Christian, but in this couple's case, they were inspired on the same day to work through a Christian dating service. So they were encouraging everybody to do this because of what happened to them. Because they were inspired on the same day. They both work weekends. Their employment, for some reason, keeps them extremely busy on weekends, but during the week, they both don't work. That's the nature of their employment. And by going through this Christian dating service and praying for wisdom and finding the same Christian dating service, because they asked for wisdom on which service to use, they find out that they are perfect matches in their likes and their dislikes, but also, amazingly, they both work weekends and don't work during the week. And they've been dating now for something like 8 months, and they find themselves a perfect match. Their life is very happy because they're both working weekends and they're off for the weeks during the week. And so they're encouraging everybody to do that. Go to a Christian dating service and pray. First pray for God to give you the wisdom on which dating service to use. And they are both positive that this is a union made in heaven because they applied on the same day. After they were both praying for what to do, they applied on the same day, and then their jobs are weekend jobs, and their likes and dislikes are perfect matches. I received a great thank you from 2 parents because their daughter had purchased our book. I was handing out cards at a beach one day and came upon their daughter. She was with a group of other people from high school, and I passed out the cards, and she decided to get the book. It changed her life, turned things around. Her parents relate that she was hanging around with the wrong people. She was not interested in going to college, and now she's just been accepted in a college. The book has convinced her to keep asking God what to do about the decisions she's making in her life, and her parents are very delighted and very thankful. And although they're sending me to thanks, I know that you who have been listening to the radio show realize that all these things are coming from God. It's really God that blessed them and blessed their daughter. Our book just lays out steps on how people can have conversations with God. I have some people tell me they don't need our book, and I agree with them. You don't need our books. So you can just keep talking to God and asking God. The purpose of our books is it sets out steps for people. It just makes it a little easier and a little quicker, that's all. But really, if you keep talking to God, He will take you by the hand and lead you and guide you into His will, of course. I think one of the key things our book convinces people of is that God is not going to suddenly force you to start changing your life. You know, a lot of people think, when you try to become God's friend, that He instantly tells you can't play golf anymore, you can't watch television anymore, you can't wear certain kinds of clothes anymore, you can't watch movies anymore. I mean, people think that God is going to turn your life upside down when you try to be His friend. And our book convinces people that is not the case. He wants us to be His friend, and He'll take you step by step gradually. He knows with all His wisdom we're like ice cubes, and He has to thaw us out gently, and that's what He does. And history is replete with people. God is very patient. If you want to be His friend, He'll work with you gradually and change you if you need to be changed. Not everybody who goes to God to be His friend needs to be changed. But you don't have to worry about, you have to stop playing golf and you have to sell your Cadillac and all those things. He's not going to make life miserable for you. We heard from a woman who also experiences coincidence miracles every day, and she tells us her story that it all began a few years ago when her doctor told her that she had a medical condition and she would never get pregnant. And she started to pray immediately after the doctor's visit, asking God to please help her. She couldn't believe that she couldn't get pregnant. It was a dream in her life to have a large family, and she got pregnant, and she delivered a very healthy baby, and the family's very happy, and the doctor was surprised and couldn't believe it, and explained to her that she does have this condition, and it's a miracle that she got pregnant. So she's very happy to tell people that God is her best friend, and she's very happy to tell people that from that day on, she's been asking God for inspirations and ideas on what to do, and she's been very blessed in the process. I met a married couple recently who had read our book, and they are experiencing coincidence miracles, but I just bumped into them while I was traveling, and they came over, they recognized me, and I have a picture of my face on the back of the book. And they were delighted to tell me that they learned something recently which confirms that our book is very valuable in the process. Our book says, keep asking God what to do, keep asking God for inspirations, keep asking God to show you that He's trying to get you to do different things when you're getting the wrong thoughts. And they told us an amazing story. They had both gone to the beach one day, and they had a wonderful day, but at the end of the day, when they got home, his wife couldn't find her glasses, her sunglasses, which were prescription sunglasses, and they were very expensive, and she couldn't find them, and she needs them for the kind of work she does. So he told her, don't worry about it, I'm going to get up real early tomorrow, I'm going to go back to the beach early in the morning. Apparently he called the beach and found out that he could show up early, and the people there would help him go to where they were, and if he came early enough, they would search the area together. So that's what he did. He got up extremely early. He didn't tell me what time, but it sounds to me like he had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning from what he told me, because they were going to, people go to the beach, the workers there go early and prepare the beach for the day. And he had to get to this spot and find the glasses before, they run by with tractors, etc. So he got there real early, and the people were helping him look into the area, and they also went down the path that when they left the beach to get to their car, etc. So he had a lot of people helping him. And then he thought they made a couple of other stops after that, so he went and checked those other places, re-walking through the same places where they walked, where they parked the car, etc. And couldn't find it. He spent most of the morning looking, and he called his wife and said, he wasn't being successful. He had one more place to go. He did that. Then he went home, and when he got home, his wife told him the news. She had found the glasses. She had placed it into a different bag than what she normally uses, and that's why she thought she lost the glasses. And the point and the moral of this story is, and the couple was telling us, that what they learned from this story is they should have both prayed about what to do. Instead of him automatically doing what he did, they should have prayed about what to do, and they believe they would have been inspired to check these other certain bags that were remote possibilities, but they would have been inspired because the wife got inspired during the day to check the bags anyway. So let's all learn from their example. We should pray first, ask for wisdom first before we run off and get into a wild goose chase, because if you ask God what to do, he knows you're going to be on a wild goose chase if you don't ask him. I met another married couple who told me that they don't need a book to tell them how to get coincidence miracles, because they've been asking God for inspirations and ideas for many, many years since they were married, and they know God inspires them and gives them ideas. Also, they said they just simply follow the golden rule in the Bible, which says, love others as you would have them love you, and that takes care of them getting miracles. And I don't disagree with them. I think it's beautiful that they have found that they can talk to God and get inspired by asking for inspirations and follow the golden rule. I just wrote the 2 books because I was inspired by God to do it, because the 2 books helps a lot of people to go through a step process. And then the books gives 100 miracle stories as examples of what happens when you ask. So it makes it easier on people who don't know how to go about it, or they have a lot of doubts. So you don't need the books to talk to God, and you don't need the books to get answers from God. The books just make life a little easier and the process a little easier. So if you're interested in the books, just Google the title, and if you Google the title of the books, you'll get a wealth of information. When you Google, you can just push some buttons and go to our free website, by the way, and you can listen to the book being read to you for free, and you can listen to all of our radio shows for free. So it's free information, really. You don't have to spend money. If you want to buy a hard copy of the book, you can do that by pushing a button and getting it from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any good bookstore. So all you have to do is Google the title, which is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. One more time, just Google the title of the book, Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Our next coincidence miracle is about a mistake I made, and I'm a bit embarrassed to be broadcasting this, but I've been inspired to broadcast it to help other people. One day I was inspired to go to Newport, Rhode Island, to the annual boat show. And I had been to Rhode Island a few times, Newport, Rhode Island, and if you've ever been there, you know how difficult it is to find a parking spot. So driving over there, it's about a 90-minute drive, I was inspired to go to a certain place when I got there, and I would find a parking spot. And I'd gone there to that same place a year ago, and I did find a parking spot there. Well, as I was driving over, I passed a few parking lots, and I thought I would swing in them and drive through them and see if I could get a place before I got to the place I was inspired to go to. Well, what happened was I delayed time, so when I got to the place I was supposed to go to, I saw a car pull out of a place I could have pulled into, except the car in front of me pulled in before me. So I lost the place because I didn't go directly there as I was inspired to do. I took the safe route of going to 2 parking lots and driving through there before I got to where I was supposed to go. So I'm apologizing and I'm embarrassed. The message is, do what God tells you to do and you'll get the miracle. Don't try to enhance his miracle. God bless you all. I'll talk to you next week.